Hey, what's up guys? It's Thurry the Warrior, and in this guide I'm going to be teaching you how to carry a flag in a rated battleground efficiently and help your team cap the flag and win a game. Alright, first thing I'm going to be going over here are the basics of flag carrying. And basically that starts with just the most basic thing there is in terms of a role for a flag carrier. You want to grab the enemy flag efficiently and quickly. And basically what I try to do for that is when you get out of the gates, you hug the right side and try not to be seen by any of the enemies. Use the bushes and anything you can to avoid sight from the enemy. And if you see someone that's going to intercept you, alert your team immediately. Take a route that is safe both there and back. You don't want to be running through a whole legion of enemies that can pretty much just take you down in a few seconds. At rated battlegrounds, there's a lot of damage going around, and you need to be very careful with your carrying. And it's very important that you're not being crazy with the flag and running through a group of 7 people. You want to return it to the base when your team tells you to. Now there's 2 strategies for this. Either when you're carrying the flag, you sit in the back of your group midfield, or you take it back to the base with a healer or 2 and wait for your team to kill the enemy carrier. I would recommend, with the way the metagame is these days, and with all the dot cleaves running around, that you just sit in the back of your group, and that way your fighting force is at its strongest. But be ready to carry it back to your base as soon as your team tells you to. And perhaps most importantly in terms of basics, make sure that you manage your cooldowns properly. Don't burn any unnecessary cooldowns. Remember that your offensive cooldowns like Shockwave and Concussive Blow are perhaps just as important as your defensive cooldowns like Shield Wall, Enrage Regen, and Last Stand. And try not to overlap and communicate with your teammates. Alright, now moving on to a few more advanced tricks and abilities that you should know as a warrior flag carrier. Intervene is basically your bread and butter. It does so many great things. It gets you across the field faster, gets you away from enemies that are on you. It can eat a blind or a CC that is physical oriented on a healer if you choose to intervene a healer. And it also clears your snare. So it's really, really good for breaking away from the enemy, and you should use it as often as you possibly can and try to be smart with it on who you use it on. Another thing is shockwaving on the move. You don't want to sit there and keyboard turn and S key and backpedal while you're trying to shockwave. You need to try to learn to what I like to call is like jump shockwaving. You basically jump in the air, turn around in the air, shockwave, and then go back to where you're running towards. Might sound a little silly, but it's actually very important, and try to master this. Another thing is proper cooldown usage. It's extremely important. I cannot stress enough how important it is to communicate what your cooldowns are to your healers, what you've used, what you haven't used, what you have available. And you want to make sure that you're monitoring what kind of cooldowns you're being given from your healers, and you don't want to overlap, because even one overlapped cooldown can lead to a kill from the enemy onto you, and that can change the entire scope of the game. So make sure you're communicating. Heroic Leap is excellent for efficiency. You want to use it every single time that you go to get the flag, pretty much right when you enter their base, and it's also really important for getting onto the flag cap if you have a pesky Death Knight in your flag room that's trying to grip you off of the cap. You can just leap right back, and there's nothing you can do. And Charge and Intercept are absolutely excellent for both getting away from enemies and ping-ponging around, and for getting across the field fast if there's a straggler that you can charge onto that isn't with their group and doesn't put you in danger. You can get a flag across extremely fast as a warrior, and it's important to utilize all these abilities. Alright, I'm going to take you into some video footage and show you some tricks and advanced stuff that hopefully you can learn something from flag carrying with this. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so as you can see, the gates are opening here, and I'm going to show you right here basically my traditional route for getting to the enemy base, and what can happen if you get intercepted. So basically, right from the get-go, I try to split off from the group and hug the right side, and stay as low profile as I can from the enemy team. And I'm pretty much peeled away from the team, and it seems like I'm not going to get peeled, but I did see someone split off, and I informed my team that he did split off, and I got zapped here. And this rogue is especially pesky, as I get a freedom right here, and I've been told that this is actually Neilio's ult, and you can tell how good he is at peeling right here. But you don't want to ever get off your mount as a flag carrier on your way to the flag, because you will be peeled forever and you'll never get away from a rogue if you get off of your mount. So what my paladin should have done here is he should have given me a hand of protection, but even without the hand of protection, it's better to wait until all the DRs are down and you get a freedom and you eventually get a breakaway, and there's nothing that the rogue will be able to do at this point to peel me off. Alright, sometimes there's going to be situations where you get peeled off and you can't run the flag out as quick as you need to, and you're going to be forced to make a swap midfield. This is an example of a safe swap. I'm going to pause it here. As you can see, there's no enemies nearby that we can see, and even if there is a rogue nearby, we're at a point of the map that's not exactly that dangerous, and we have 4 of our characters on top of the flag right now. One of them is a warlock, and you'll see that he'll AoE, and we safely transfer the flag, and there is no ninja stealing of the flag whatsoever. This is an important thing to know as a flag carrier, and you need to be ready to click on that flag very quickly and know when to swap for the flag, as it's your job to call out for the swap. Alright, so this is an example of a heroic leap cap. These are very important and lead to instant caps that nobody can really stop. This is uncontested, but there will be times when you have a Death Knight on you, and as an example here, I'm going to leap onto the cap. For Twin Peaks, if you're on tier 2, where I am right now, you can't just leap from where you are to the cap because it's going to say it's not in line of sight. So you need to first jump off and then mid-air hit heroic leap and hit the reticle on the cap, as you see here. And that leads to an instant cap with no lag whatsoever, and it's very advantageous to know this ability. Alright, this is an example of an advanced usage of Intervene. Intervene will be used both basically and in an advanced fashion. As a flag carrier, it's really great for movement. But there are times like this where it'll work more in your favor if you time it perfectly. So right now I have a rogue on me, and this rogue's doing tons of damage to me, and he's liable to actually kill me if I don't burn cooldowns. But I want to save these cooldowns, and I see that my shaman's coming here, so I freeze right here. Knowing that this rogue is on me, and if I intervene the shaman right when he gets to me, the rogue is probably going to try to blind the healer. And if he does successfully blind this healer, he'll be able to sap him out of it if the healer doesn't have a trinket. And that will lead to either a kill on me or me needing to burn all of my cooldowns to stay alive, which would leave me extremely vulnerable on their offensive push. So I intervene here, and sure enough, they burn blind on me, and he just hits me out of it, and his blind is wasted, and he's not able to get any CC on my shaman. And I'm able to shockwave him and pretty much just make a breakaway with a heroic leap, and my paladin reaches me, and we're able to safely get away. And that all started with the intervene, and I still have all my cooldowns right now. So try to time your intervenes, guys, especially if there's a rogue on you. And speaking of rogues, good rogues can completely ruin your day as a flag carrier, and it's important to know exactly how to break away from them. Otherwise, you may risk being killed midfield because you were peeled for far too long. So basically, this rogue is constantly slowing me down, but right here I'm going to pause it. A good way to break away from a rogue is to actually fear him, but it's important to make sure that either your auto attack is turned off when you do it, or you're facing away from the rogue when you fear him. As you can see, the fear is not going to be enough because I'm snared, and by the time my paladin actually cleanses it off, the rogue will still be able to get back onto me. So it's important right here to also intervene onto your healer and make a far breakaway from the rogue. So right here I intervene the healer, and at this point, by the time he gets out of the fear, he's not going to be able to catch up to me, and I've made a breakaway out of the tunnel, and I'm going to be able to take it to my base. and it's very important that you are able to make those breakaways. Alright, last but certainly not least is what I like to call the jump shockwave. Doing this can save your life time and time and time again. And we pause it right here, and basically what I do is I hold down my right click and I jump in the air, turn around, catch shockwave, and then turn back to where I was facing to run. This saves you a few seconds of running, and it can literally just save your life as a carrier. As you can see right here, I'm down to 50,000 health with 3 enemies on me right now. And I can either burn my defensive cooldowns, or I can stun them all and try to make a breakaway. And what I do is I do my jump shockwave, and I stun all 3 of them, and then directly after I stun them, I find someone in front of me to intervene to and make a breakaway. And as you can see here, I'm completely scot-free, I'm healed up, and there's just absolutely no possible way that at this point they're going to land a kill on me after devoting so much to trying to kill me. And all that is possible because of the jump shockwave, and it's not too hard to do. It's not as hard as it looks. Just practice it and utilize it in the middle of these flag games, and you will find yourself a lot more durable and make it much more difficult on the opposing team to actually kill you. And just try to practice this, guys. Alright guys, I want to thank you all for watching my video. Flag carrying, it's as simple as doing all the little things, and they all add up to successfully carrying the flag back to your base. I hope you learned something from this video. If you liked it, please remember to plus skill. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or even suggestions, just place them in the comment box below, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more. I got more stuff coming out soon. See you guys next time.